All right, so I think out of the two IXLs you have, I think this is the one that's the hardest. So I figured I'll do it first. Anytime it's going to be vertical like these two, like how far are these two things apart, I don't think you need much help with it. But just really quick, this is just simply asking how far are these 2 points apart. So if I look at this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units apart, right? That's all it is. On this one, it's 5 units apart, right? Again, these are vertical from each other. So these are going to be like 7 units apart. You can look at that for a second. So if you look and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's 7 units above it, right? If it's that again, not a big deal. Every now and then you'll see it vertical. And again, you're thinking, Mr. Hyde, this is so easy. Why are we doing this? It's because I'm trying to get you to the next part. Oops. All right. So, and here, if they're horizontal, same idea. How far are those two apart? Again, it's going to be 13. You can look at it 10, 11, 12, 13. If you count from one point to the other point, they're going to be 13 units apart. And you go, what a waste of time. It's till we get here. This is where it gets a little more difficult. So right around 40 is where it's going to start being more difficult. And this is where we're going to need the Pythagorean theorem. So we did do this in class a little bit, right? So I look at these two for a second, and here's what's going to happen. I want to sit there and say, how far are these things apart? So I'm going to look at this and say, I'm going to look at this part right here. I want to figure out that diagonal right there between the two, but I can't count that way. So this is where I kind of have to kind of come down and come across, and I have to form that triangle. And so what's going to happen is at the beginning, you'll see some easy numbers, right? So this first one down here is going to be, this is going to be 9 across, and this one's going to be 12, all right? And so what's going to happen is I know this one right away because it's a triple. You may not know that it's a triple. So let's say this, it's a triangle. So I'm going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so that means I'm going to say 9 squared plus 12 squared, again, equal to c squared. All right, 9 squared is 81, 12 squared is 144. So I'm going to put those together on a calculator, and I'm going to get 225. Sorry, I'm just trying to run out of space here. So again, 9 squared is 81, 12 squared is 144. I add them up and I get 225. I want to know what just C is. And so if I want to know what just C is, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And so that's going to end up giving me the square root of 225, which is 15. All right, so I come back, and that's going to show me that it's 15 units across. All right, so if I come back again, excuse me. All right, same kind of idea with this problem. They're diagonals, so I have to make them fit. This is what's going to be hard for me to draw. I'm sorry. All right, and I want to find the distance here. So you see that triangle there, and I'm making that right triangle. All right, so what's going to happen here is that bottom is going to be 16 apart. Down here is going to be 12 apart. All right, so I want to use that Pythagorean theorem again. So 12 squared plus 16 squared equals c squared. All right, so I get 144 plus, I don't know 16 squared at the top of my head, 256. Add them up, and I'm going to get 400 is equal to c squared. If I take the square root of 400, it's going to square root of c squared. It's going to give me c, and that's going to get equal to being 20. And so that's 20. All right. So I don't know if you can see this. This is me showing you. This is a triple. So 12, 16, 20 is a triple. It means I get a perfect number. If you really see this, this I told you a long time ago. 3, 4, and 5 are my very popular triple. Of if my legs are 3 and 4, then my hypotenuse is 5. And you can see for a second, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 4 is 20. So this answer here of 12, 16, and 20 is just an extension of my 3, 4, 5 triangle. Some of you may go, what did he just say? Don't worry about it. All right, but I want you to kind of see some of those answers. So my answer here is going to be 20. So I come back, and my answer is 20. So I'm really close to being there. The only difference is going to be, the only part that's going to make this hard is when it's not a triple, right? Was when it's not a perfect number. And that's why down here in the bottom, we're going to have to round to the nearest tenth. So let me see real quick if this one is or not. Yeah, that one's going to be, hold on, let me see if I can jump one more. Yeah, let me jump here for a second, because I think this is where we might get a little more difficult. So around 60. So this one's going to end up being the idea that I get this distance right here and this distance right here. So this one I'm going to end up having a distance of 7. And here I'm going to have a distance of 5. So I'm going to get 5 squared plus 7 squared is equal to c squared. So I get 25 plus 49 equal to c squared. So that's going to give me 74 is equal to c squared. So I look at this for a second. Like I know already that I don't know what the square root of 74 is. I know the square root of 81 is 9. I know the square root of 64 is 8. So I can tell you something about the square root of 74. I just don't know what exactly it is. So I'm going to do the square root of it in my calculator. And I just put the square root of 74 in my calculator, and I get 8.6023252670422627. If your calculator doesn't have a square root button, put it in Google. Put in square root of 74 in Google. It will tell you the answer. All right. So I'm going to get this up here on the very top. C equals 8.6023. So it says round to the nearest tenth. So my tenth is my first decimal place. Remember, 1 0, 1 decimal place. A 10, 1 0, 1 decimal place. So I look at the next number. It's a 0. So my answer is going to be 8.6. So I come back for a second. Say it's 8.6. And that's going to be my answer. All right. So things like that. It doesn't get much harder than that. Again, if you get stressed, if you get stuck, take a screenshot for me. See if I can help you out a little bit. Whatever I can do. If you get really stressed out, listen, I'm not gonna. If you get to like a 65 and you get stuck somewhere, we'll definitely have a conversation. Remember, 65 is not going to do bad for your grade. We'll go from there. But take a picture with your phone, send it to me. Take a picture with your Chromebook. There's a screenshot. If you press Control, and on the very top row, that 6 button with like a little rectangle with 2 lines on it. If you press